Hey, how's it going? It's Sean Bradshaw from cyberfret.com, and in this lesson I want to give you a few tips on developing your calluses. This is a very common question, especially when people are first starting out, is when the tips of my fingers stop hurting. Well, what happens is that you have to kind of develop some calluses on the tips of your fingers, and if you're not practicing a whole lot, I know you're practicing a whole lot, but if, say for instance, you weren't playing your guitar a whole lot, the tips of your fingers never kind of toughen up. And so if you kind of play on the weekend and then don't play again until the next weekend and you go, ow, my fingers hurt. Well, that's wise, because your body kind of never gets used to the idea of needing to toughen up your fingers. And so that's step number one, is to play your guitar more often. But even if you don't have a lot of time and you only get a chance to really play a few times a week, it's good to kind of do a few things that are going to help you build up your calluses and toughen up your fingers. And the idea is your body's going to develop that tougher layer of skin only by your finger becoming irritated. And so kind of here is one thing: when you're finished playing for the day, what I want you to do, and I know this is going to sound sick, I want you to hurt yourself, all right? What I want you to do is just take each finger, and what I'm doing is I'm just pressing down on different parts of the tip of my finger. That's a key also, is sometimes when you're just playing, in the your normal everyday playing, you might not be hitting all of the parts of the tip of your finger. So if you're just kind of playing some tunes and some basic chords, you might develop calluses on certain parts of your fingers, and then you learn a new chord and you're like, ow, what's up? Well, that's because you don't have a callus on the entire surface of your tip of your finger. You only have it on a certain part. And so kind of this, if you just kind of press down, you don't need to make yourself bleed, all right? You just need to irritate that finger. And do this when you're finished playing for the day, and just do this for a minute, kind of taking each one of your fingers and just kind of trying to irritate that entire surface of the finger, all right? And you can even, on your days where you're not able to play a whole lot, even if you're able to play, 5 or 10 minutes, then kind of irritate your fingers. And then once you've kind of started to develop those calluses, actually everything else is easier to play. It's easier to kind of press down your chords when you're pressing down against the harder surface. If the string is just kind of sinking into your finger and you're getting to the bone of your finger and you're going, well, then of course everything's a lot harder to do. So once you kind of develop calluses, everything is easier to play. And so kind of make that a point, especially if you're a beginner in the beginning, is work on developing those calluses. And I also have my acoustic guitar here, because if you have both an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar, make sure you do some of your practicing on your acoustic. Even if you're primarily an electric player, if you do some practicing of your chords and some scales on the acoustic, the acoustic's a little bit tougher, so it's a little bit harder on your fingers, and you help develop those calluses as well. Now also, on the electric guitar, kind of a way to help yourself kind of toughen up your fingers is to work on some bends. All right, and this lesson is kind of beyond exactly how you kind of go into doing bends, but if you just kind of practice doing some different bends with some different finger combinations, bends are a little bit tougher on your fingers. And so what happens is if you just kind of do some things where you're kind of overdoing some bends, you're kind of, again, irritating those fingers and helping yourself develop those calluses a little bit more. All right, so go hurt yourself. No. Irritate your fingers. All right, they won't fight back. All right? All right. I guess I should answer that. Have a good one.